Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ajwa and I hope this video finds you well. If you are new to this place, please consider subscribing, and to all my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your support and welcome back. This is a declutter video and I'm not going to give any disclaimers, because I have realized that in most instances when people are decluttering or saying something that they quite not like about some fragrances, they sort of give disclaimers just to appease people who might love those fragrances. Listen, you win some, you lose some. We are not all going to like the same thing. What might work for me might not work for you, and vice versa. And I simply understand that. So if you get easily offended because someone says something negative about what you love, I think you need not to really watch fragrance reviews, because that is what we are typically sharing, our ideas, our experiences, what we think about these fragrances. And these ones, some of them didn't work out for me. Some of them I guess gave it out because people sort of requested them off me, and I guess wanted to give them to them, so I'll give the reasons for decluttering these fragrances, and I hope nobody is offended by that. But I'm not going to say, okay, I'm sorry, blah blah blah, it didn't work for me. So let's just start off with the first one, which is going to be Yara Tools. I think I have said a lot of things about Yara Tools in a lot of videos. From the very first day, I said I like it, and that is it. It is nothing that I will reach out for. I don't think I've ever even reached out for this in the last 6 months. I don't think so, simply because I do not like the mango in this one. I just don't like the scent profile of this one. It's like weak. It doesn't do much for me. It is not like a scent profile I appreciate. If you want a mango scent, I would rather say go for Mango Punch by Paris Corner or Ajaib Dubai by Latafa. This is also by Latafa, but it didn't work out for me. I don't think I'll ever use it. Even if I keep it for the next 10 years, I wouldn't find any use for it. So I guess have to let it go. So this is going to be my first declutter, Yara Tools. The next one that I have here is going to be Faka Rose by Latafa. This has appeared on a lot of my top 10 lists, in the last few years, when I started my whole YouTube channel, not like even the channel, but my fragrance journey. I love this, I loved it, and I still love this fragrance. And the only reason why I am letting this one go is the fact that I've had L'Entrée Intense by Givenchy for over a year now, and I enjoy this much more. They are quite similar, in the scent profile, except that this one has that sesame, nutty sort of nuance that is missing from this. And I enjoy this one much better. However, this one is equally beautiful. I'm not going to find a lot of use for it. I'm also trying to avoid some redundancy, because I have quite a number of redundant fragrances in my collection. So because of that reason, I'm letting Faka Rose go. But it is a very beautiful fragrance that I'll also highly recommend for people who are looking for something musky, white floral, fruity fragrance. That is what it basically is. So that is the number 2 on my list. The next one that I'm letting go, I don't have it here. I have already given it out, and it didn't just work for me. I loved the whole idea of having bitter peach. I had I think the one I have was called Bright Peach. If it's maybe by Paris Corner, or I'll find out and let it somewhere here. But Bright Peach, which is supposed to be a dupe for Bitter Peach by Tom Ford, was too heavy in that earthy patchouli sort of vetiver nuance it had, and it didn't really work out for me. I love patchouli, I love vetiver, I love woody sort of nuances, but there was something about it which was like a bit too much. I didn't really get opportunity to enjoy it as much as I thought I would. I liked it, but I didn't feel I was going to wear it, and for that reason I had to let it go. So I've already given that to a friend like 5-6 months ago. I'm sure he's enjoying it much more. The next one that I had to let go is Shaga Oud, the OG Shaga Oud. That is a very beautiful, stunning rose oud combo with that saffron, very sexy, beast mode. Everybody seemed to love it. I love it. One of the reasons, I have quite a number of reasons why I had to let Shaga Oud go, and one of the reasons why I had to let it go is because I have Reseller by Arabian Oud, and it gives me the same vibe, just that this one doesn't have oud, it has chocolate, and that is the only difference between Shaga Oud and then Reseller. And I much prefer Reseller over Shaga Oud. More so, I had used my Shaga Oud, I was left with less than a quarter, like 1/3 of it. I was left with less than 1/3 of it, and someone really wanted it, so I had to give it to her. Plus, it got to a point, because I had had it for over 3 years, and it was, and my version, or my bottle was the original, Shaga Oud, not a reformulated bottle. So having it for over 3 years, it had macerated, gotten so thick and very rich. But I later on found that whenever I use it and I smell it on my skin, it came off somehow too animalic on me. I wasn't enjoying it on my skin, but in the air it smelled so beautiful, and I was always getting compliments from it. And it was because of the compliments I was getting, and my friend loving it, and she requested for it, I had to just give it to her because I have Reseller. So that is the reason why I had to let go of Shaga Oud. And the next one I have here is going to be Kima by Latafa. This is a very beautiful one. It's like a greener sort of version of Good Girl by Carolina Herrera. And the reason why I had to let this one go is because I have been to Huran, and I prefer that slightly over this one. I prefer that slightly over this one, just because that one is much closer to Carolina Herrera than this one is to me. But this is nonetheless a very beautiful one. So I have since given this one to my little sister. I think I've given it to her for about 5 months, more than even 5 months. I guess had to give it to her, and also to avoid redundancy, because I already have been to Huran, and I wasn't going to use this one, honestly. I wasn't going, because I have too many fragrances. I have been to Huran, which if I'm ever in the mood for that, I'll go for that over this one. So I had to let this one go. So the next fragrance I had to let go is Barakat Rouge by Fragrance World. I had that for over 3 years. It was one of my earliest picks, for Fragrance World. I enjoyed it, to some extent. I often used it as room spray because there was something about it which felt screechy. And I had Opulent Mask. I had Federico Mahori's version of Barakat Rouge. I've had so many other variations of Barakat Rouge, which I much preferred over Barakat Rouge by Fragrance World. So at a point, I just felt I wasn't going to use it, and had to, give it to someone who I know or knew really loved it, because I remember gifting this friend. He's a former colleague of mine. We used to share the same office, and whenever I used Barakat Rouge at that point, he loved it. So I bought him a bottle, and when I realized I wasn't in need of the leftover of what I had, I let him have it because I know he loves it. So I've since given Barakat Rouge away to a friend. The next one that I have here on this list is Fiori de Louvo by Fragrance World, if I'm not mistaken. That fragrance I have raved about on this channel, and I think I was the only person who was talking about Fiori de Louvo by Fragrance World. A very beautiful, soft, watery, floral, juicy, mouth-watering, fruity fragrance. I love that fragrance. To this day, I still love the fragrance. And the only reason why I don't have it now is because my mom wanted it, and I had to give it to her, and I just gifted it to my mom because she loves it, and I had to give it to her. So that is the reason why, if you remember my top 100, some of these fragrances were missing from that list, because if I had some of these fragrances, some of them would definitely have made it to that top 100 list. But because I didn't have it, or I don't have it anymore, that is the reason why some of them didn't make it. So Fiori de Louvo by Fragrance World is a beautiful fragrance that I will always recommend. But I have given it to my mom, so that is the reason why. And one other fragrance I also gifted to my mom, and I no longer have, is Hayati Rose by Fragrance World. I think Fragrance World, and that is supposed to be like a Yara dupe. I'm not like the biggest fan of the OG Yara, but that was slightly better to me. However, my mom loved it better than me, and I had to just give it to her. So she has it, and anytime I visit, I'm sure I'll be able to use it if it's not finished. She has quite a number of fragrances herself, so I'm sure when I'm in the mood for it and I'm with her, or I go on visits, I can always use Hayati Rose by Fragrance World. So I no longer have that fragrance in my possession. The next fragrance I also had to give away is African Lux. I've forgotten the brand, that makes African Lux, but I think I'll look for it and put it up somewhere. But it's supposed to be an interpretation of Memo Paris's African leather, and it's a very beautiful one, like a very office friendly vetiver patchouli sort of, a little bit of leather, but not something that is like overly leather fragrance, like a very masculine sort of leaning fragrance, but I find it's very office friendly. I gifted that fragrance to a former colleague of mine who wanted a fragrance, and I was like, okay, it's quite masculine leaning. I'm not, using it. I'm no longer, an office girly. I'm no longer a corporate girly. That is a story for another time. I'll tell you the reason why I resigned from my corporate job like a year and a half ago. And even before that, I had taken off 1 year, 1 year without pay, that kind of thing, to sort myself out. And then eventually put in my resignation, I think December 2022, so I'm no longer a corporate girly. I'm over that, even like right now I'm over that, but maybe I'll tell you the story someday. But so I gave it to a colleague of mine for that purpose. I just wanted to gift him a fragrance, because whenever I post my videos, he also reposts for me, and just to say thank you, sometimes I gift him some fragrances. So yeah, that is what happened to my African Lux. The last fragrance I'm going to declutter is going to be my Adam Lavine for hair. However, I'm not going to declutter this one because I love this scent, but I have a 30 ml here, which I bought a set, usually they come in a set, and it was very, very affordable. So I love this one. Unfortunately, it's one of the fragrances that my dad reacted to. He didn't like it, so anytime, now that he's no longer with us, anytime I look at this fragrance or I smell it, it sort of reminds me of him, because I just feel like, okay, I know he didn't like this fragrance, so I've indirectly formed like an attachment with my dad with this fragrance in some way. I love it. I'm going to keep it. However, I'm going to give away this 30 ml. It has some vanilla, a very, very, very heavy vanilla with some anise, some very sort of old school florals. It's very beautiful, but I think I have this one, and this one is good enough for me. I will just let this one go, and just look at the difference in the color, just because I've used this one for quite a number of time, and it's macerated beautifully, and it has vanilla. The color has changed, so I'm going to give the 30 ml out to someone to also enjoy it. So these are the fragrances that I'm letting go. Some of them I've already given out. The ones that I have here, I have my eye on some few people that I want to give to. Others, I'm not too sure who to give them to. So if you are based in Accra and you are interested in this one, you're interested in this one, or Yara 2s, I can just put them together and send them your way. If you are in Accra and you are interested, just let me know in my email. I'll put my email in my description. Just let me know, and I'll put these two together and send it your way. There are a few more of these fragrances that I'm eyeing to let go, in the near future, because I'm expecting some more fragrances, and some of these fragrances I think have to go. So expect a declutter probably by middle of the year, and hopefully I'll be able to give them away too. So thank you so much for your time here, and I hope this video found you well. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in my next one. Take care. Bye bye.